Well, hello, folks. Welcome back to Art of the City, live streaming here from Solana Beach, California for my art gallery exclusive collections. And I thought I'd start the show today just sharing a little bit of the behind the scenes of what we've been doing as gallery owners and, all of the behind the scenes things that go on when you are completely shut down, which we have been. One of the things we've been doing is just going through all of 25 years of inventory and things, meaning pedestals and frames and just all kinds of things that, we have stored for so many years. And we are so excited because as we've been going through looking at our inventory, we thought what a great opportunity to bring some of these older archived pieces out for people like you to come and collect. So what we're going to be doing is next weekend, which is going to start June 6th, we are going to bring all of these pieces that are by really great and various artists to the gallery, into our courtyard, and give you guys the ability to collect some of these at some really great values. As a gallerist, you start sometimes with artists and they go on their own way. Some of them, unfortunately, do pass away. There's all kinds of scenarios that we have. And in the meantime, we've had 2 of these, 3 of those, 1 of those. And it's unfortunate, but I don't have a place to put all of this artwork in my home. So it's going to be a real advantage for you folks if you'd like to come down and check that out. We're also revamping our website. So you'll notice if you go on to our website, we have a store, and you're going to start seeing that store be populated with a lot of that artwork as well. So take a look. If you haven't gone to ecgallery.com, take a look at our store. You'll see all of the artists that we are representing, which obviously will not be on any type of a special price, but we do have some older artists. So check that out. I thought I'd start there. Then also, we've got some really great events coming up. We are having our Michael Floor Show. We pushed the date 1 more week. So that's going to be, the floor show will be June 27th and 28th. So mark your date. That will also be a virtual show. So you'll have the opportunity to go online and see all those new paintings that he's created. And then our 25-year anniversary show. So that's something I'm particularly pleased with because it's been quite a journey, 25 years. So that'll be July 25th and 26th. So mark your date on the calendar there. And today will be a little bit unusual. I've got to grab a little swig of water here because it's dry here. We would normally have an artist coming on live, but unfortunately, Nano Lopez just called me and said that he has to go to the doctors. He didn't disclose the reason why. And we are kind of going to build up to have him live next week. But in the meantime, I'm surrounded by his beautiful sculptures here. You can see, here's one of them, and I'll share a little bit. But he has a video that he wanted to share. So I'm going to put that on before I start choking.
To talk about how peacefully is born, it really happens in different ways. It's not necessarily a magic moment of inspiration, but it could be, or it's as simple as going on the countryside and looking, and then all of a sudden I see a cow in a position that you say, wow, that is so beautiful that I really want to do that. And so that's one way it happens often, or sometimes it's a flash of a vision of a figure maybe in a position that you think, wow, this is powerful and I should do it. Then the step that would follow that kind of a process, often I would do then several sketches, sometimes develop the idea on the sketches. And after that, often I do a clay model, a small clay model, sometimes a little one, or go to the larger size. And for that, you usually take a wire armature and start covering it with oil clay. And transform it and take photos, or have just a look at the drawing, which was the original idea. And the work on clay, I usually develop the anatomy first, which takes a while. Then once the anatomy is pretty close, then you start to put the textures on the piece. Put again the rock textures, organic textures, the gear textures, and then towards the end I start putting elements on the surface of the clay, positive elements like a real gear or buttons or fish or different things. The elements, that's kind of the last step, numbers and letters and the elements. Once you finish your clay model, the process into getting into bronze, which of course you don't sculpt the piece on bronze, which some people think that you sculpt the piece on bronze, but the first step to get into this process is to cover it with a silicone rubber mold material. You first have to then mix the first coat of silicone, which is 2 parts of chemical reaction silicone, and you brush it very carefully, a very thin coat of silicone rubber, and then you blow it with an air blower to get the silicone everywhere inside the textures and don't get any air bubbles. Then you have to put a second, third, fourth, fifth coats of silicone. That happen usually in 2 or 3 days of putting coats. You have to let each coat dry, cure, usually 5-6 hours at least, if not overnight. After all the coats of silicone are put, you have to then put what is called a mother mold, which is either a plaster mold or a fiberglass mold that would hold the piece. If you think of silicone, it would just fall and it wouldn't hold the shape, the main shape. That's why the mother mold is needed to be rigid and hold that silicone in place. So you put the mother mold, and after you're done with that, you would open your mold, separate it, and then take the original clay out. Close the mold back, and then you'll be ready to pour the wax. You will pour wax inside the mold, rotate it to coat it well, really hot first. The first coat is hotter, and slowly so it doesn't trap air bubbles, and pour it back into the pot, and then let it cool down for 10-15 minutes, and you'll repeat that 3 to 4 coats of wax until it builds up about less than a 1/4 inch. Then once that wax is cool, then you will be ready to open that mold and pull your wax out. Then you have to tool the imperfections of the wax, the seams of the mold. Then once you are done with that, you have to prepare it for the slurry process. To prepare it, you have to put the gates. So you're going to put a wax gates, put a funnel. That's where the bronze is going to be coming later. Then you'll take it to the slurry room. The slurry is a liquid ceramic that is in a container, always moving constantly. Foundry will dip it into that liquid ceramic, and then immediately after, either dip it in a fluid sand bed or throw sand around the piece. So it's a mix of the liquid ceramic and sand, and then you have to do that about 5 to 7 times, which takes about a week. You do it once a day. So until that ceramic builds up about a 1/2 inch almost thickness. Then you are ready to take the piece to a kiln. That is a small kiln with a direct propane flame, very strong flame, and that will melt the wax out of the mold. That's why it's called the lost wax process. So the wax pours out. Then after that, that mold is now hollow inside, that ceramic shell. It's hollow, then you're ready to pour the bronze. They will preheat it and then put it in a sand bed, and then melt the bronze about 2100 degrees. And then pour the bronze into those molds. Then let it cool down a few hours. Then they'll break it with, you break it with pneumatic hammers. Then after that you have to sandblast the piece to get the shell out of all the intricate textures and holes on the piece. Then you have to cut all the gates that you have put. Cut the gates with a plasma torch or cut off wheels. Then you'll be ready to start putting the bronze together where it was separated. You have to weld it back together. Then tool it with an air tool to make the welds disappear. Then after that you'll be ready to start the patina process, which is the coloration of the bronze. In my case, what the next step will be is to put a chemical that makes the whole piece black, that's sulfur. And then after that you'll sand it back with a cross pad. Then you'll get the surface of the bronze smoother and shinier, so you get the black only on the recesses. The purpose of that is to emphasize the textures. Then after that is done, then we spray a dye, a cold dye, spray with a gun to get that golden color on the bronzes. After that, we're ready to put the colors, which are acrylic, thin down acrylics. And those are applied with a torch. And so you are putting heat and painting. The purpose of the heat is that it opens the pores of the bronze, so the color sticks good to it and kind of cooks the color into the bronze. Next step is to give it several coats of lacquer, 3-4 coats of lacquer, and that protects it from the UV rays, protects the color. Then in some pieces we'll just finish them with a little felt underneath the pieces to make them so they don't scratch tables, things like that, more presentable. That's the end of the process.
Well, folks, we didn't get Nano live, but that was amazing to watch the lost wax process. And I know a lot of you do collect sculpture. Some of you have had an opportunity to go to a foundry, but that's really what you're seeing there is from the beginning, you know, when an artist creates the actual sculpture in clay, that's just actually the beginning, folks. And then from there, you see all those many processes and steps that a sculptor has to go through to get the finished project, which is a piece of art that looks like this. So Nano Lopez, he's going to be on the show next week, so he'll be able to answer a lot of our questions. But I just thought it would be nice, since we did, you know, let everyone know that we'd have him, that we moved forward with the show. This is a live show after all, so the show must go on. But Nano texts me, he's at the doctor's, he thinks everything will be fine, and he'll be on the show next week. But we've had his work probably now for about 10 years. We had to wait for a very long time to be able to even carry his work because he's been in such very high demand. One of the things that I think people really love about his particular sculpture is the patinas. So every artist sculptor has their own unique style of patina. I don't know if you can see this up close, but one of the things about Nano's work is the whimsy. You know, he calls these Nanomals, which I think is very cute, but it's also the detail and then the color that he's using here. For those of you who collect Nano's work, you know that he's very in tune with the whole story behind each one of his characters, and he turns them into kind of like characters that keep repeating themselves. So this particular one right here is a dog that came out of his sculptures from Key West. This is Leonardo. This is our rocker lion. This happens to be one of my very favorite ones. And you can see all the detail. He's got this little rabbit riding on his back. And then I think he's got a little mouse around here too. So they're all incredibly whimsical. And I think that's the beauty of his work. But we will be able to meet with him next week, ask him more questions, and hopefully he's, you know, going to be perfectly fine to come on the show. I hope that you enjoyed kind of the back view of how these artists create, specifically sculpture. And it is a little bit of a quick show today because we have no artists. You're just stuck with me. But one of the other things I wanted to mention is that we will be looking at doing a show for Nano probably towards November, because he has been known to be on the cruise ships. He's done a lot of the cruise ship circuit. And since we don't have those cruise ships really up and running, we're going to be able to take advantage of that and have him here at the gallery. So make sure, you know, if you're interested, let us know. We'll put you on the mailing list for that. The other thing is, beyond these beautiful pieces that we have here, we have a service that we're also offering. If you have a wall space that you're thinking, wow, I'd really like to see a new piece of art there, or I need a piece of art, just shoot a picture of it and send it to me or to Cynthia. We will start looking for a piece for you. You know, you can let us know what your budget's like, and we can definitely start sending you things. So that's it for today, folks. It's a short venue. We don't have an artist, but I like to keep things going. You know, you've got to be able to be very flexible during this time. And we definitely are learning that with everything going on. I know that you folks are as well. But join us next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We do have artists, cross our fingers that they're able to make it on. And some really special ones. I have Nick McGuire coming on Monday. Nick is an artist that is a glass blower, and he blows the most incredible feathers. That's what he's known for, amongst a lot of other things. Wednesday, we have Wendy Norton coming in from Florida. Wendy is a plein air artist, really talented. I met her many times at the art expos, and I think she's going to be absolutely wonderful. We also have a second artist coming on Wednesday, and that is Mike Dunn. Mike is a metal artist, and he's going to show us how he makes these fantastic metal items, metal gates, sculpture, a lot of different things that he's doing. And he creates metal in the old blacksmith way. So we're going to see him forging metal, which should be really fun. And then on Friday, we're going to go back to Hawaii, and we're going to meet with Dennis Matheson. And some of you know Dennis. He works on metal as well, but in a completely different way, creating more of a Hawaiiana style. So hang in there with us, folks, next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, live streaming, 1 p.m., Art of the City. And if you get a chance, go on to our YouTube station, because we've saved and documented all of the interviews, plus some new pieces of a video that will be coming out from different cities that I've traveled to. So have a great weekend. I'm glad you showed up. I wish we had an artist here, but we do the best with what we have, and I know that you're going to enjoy your weekend. So I'll see you next week and 1 p.m. Monday. Take care, folks.